Welcome to my YouTube channel, Alfred Atanda, MD,
where we discuss hot topics in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, telemedicine, and other digital health innovations,
and vlog about day-to-day life as a physician. Please enjoy the next video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. I hope everybody's having a joyous, safe holiday season. This video is a little bit different than most of the other ones I've made. This one is more non-medical, actually. As an orthopedic surgeon that takes care of a lot of kids, I get a lot of questions from a lot of my patients about how I became an orthopedic surgeon. And after going to school for 15 years after high school, I do know a thing or two about education. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my thoughts on the top 5 things that you should think about and consider when picking a college or a university. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, as many of you already know, and as I alluded to before, it is a long road to get here. I started my job when I was 32, and before that, I did a year of sports medicine fellowship at Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia. I also did a year of pediatric orthopedic surgery fellowship in Wilmington, Delaware, at the same hospital that I currently work at. Before that, I spent 5 years in Chicago doing my orthopedic surgery residency. And before that, I spent 4 years at UPenn in Philadelphia in medical school. But that long journey, as you can see by my t-shirt in the center of this slide, it all started at the University of Virginia, where I went to college. And again, I wanted to give some insight and some thoughts as to how you go about picking, hopefully, what is the ideal university or college for you. So the number 5 thing that I would consider is the cost. So of course, money unfortunately rules the world, and somebody has to pay for this education. And it's unfortunate that a lot of times the decisions are based partially on cost, but it is a harsh reality. There are things that can help with the cost, as you can imagine. So whether or not you have academic or athletic scholarships, if you're going to take out state, institutional, or federal loans, or what kind of family contribution you're going to have, whether it be a loan or a grant from your parents or something that you get from extended family, or even yourself if you're older and you've been out in the workforce prior to going to college. The number 4 thing is the location. Location, location, location. It's all going to depend on the kind of person you are and where you feel most comfortable. Some people were born and raised in a city, and that's where they feel that they would want to spend 4 years of college. Other people are from maybe a small rural town, and they'd like to stay in that similar setting. Other people would like to go to a college town, but it's not necessarily for everybody. And you also have to think about what surrounds the college or the university that you're going to go to. Some people are very into a lot of outdoor activities, whether it be skiing, hiking, kayaking, mountain biking, swimming. If you're in the middle of New York City, it may be hard to do some of those things. But if you're out in the Mountain West in Colorado or Utah, those things may be very readily available. So there's definitely going to be things to consider if certain types of activities are important to you. So the size of the school, right? There are really large schools where a lot of the state schools have introductory classes for the first years or for the freshmen with 300, 400, 500 people. Some of your smaller schools, like your liberal arts schools, and they may have class sizes of 15 or 20 kids. At University of Virginia, a lot of the pre-medical classes that I took definitely had well over 300 or 400 kids. But some of the math classes that I took had about 35 kids. So you want to see where you thrive the most, in what kind of learning environment is going to suit you the best. And then you want to see what that particular school has to offer in the size of the classroom. Some schools, all the classes may be larger or all of them may be smaller. a school like UVA had a mix. But you want to see what the school has to offer and what's going to be most comfortable for you. So in terms of their school offerings, obviously the academics is basically the whole reason why you're going there is to learn, for the most part anyway. And you want to see what kind of majors they have, what kind of tracks that they offer. Is it again going to be a liberal arts education that you want? Or are you going to be more geared towards the sciences or the humanities? Is engineering something you're thinking about? You want to see what this school really has to offer and what their strong suit is in terms of what your academic preferences are. Now, it's hard because not all kids know what they're going to study and what their major is going to be prior to going to college. But you want to have some semblance of what the school has to offer and see if that's something that's particularly important to you. For you athletes out there, kids who are going on athletic scholarships are going to be walk-ons. You got to think about the level of play that you want to be at, right? So a Division I school is going to have a much different athletic experience compared to a Division III school. A lot of kids, they want the big name. They want to be at a Duke or Ohio State or a UCLA, which is fine. But depending on your athletic ability, you may be just a small fish in a huge pond. Whereas if you geared yourself more towards a smaller school, you could be a big fish in a little pond and get a lot of playing time and a lot of notoriety, be the big person on campus. But you may not have that name behind you in terms of athletics. And that's something definitely that you want to think about. But the number one thing, at least looking back for me, is what kind of emotional connection do you have to the school? What kind of bond are you going to have with this school? When you visit this school, what's that feeling in your gut that you get that tells you whether or not you're going to be happy at this school? And I think that's the most important thing. You want to go somewhere where you can thrive, you can be comfortable, you can be happy, you can meet people who are similar to you or have similar values to you or a similar background to you. You definitely want to go somewhere where you can belong and somewhere where you can feel comfortable. I don't use the word fit in because fitting in is more of about acting a certain way or behaving a certain way so that you can be accepted. Belonging is more about being who you are. And I think a lot of kids get tripped up by this because they pick colleges and universities for a whole host of different reasons, but they often ignore finding a place where they can really truly be themselves and be comfortable, because that's the only way you're going to reach your true academic potential is if you are as comfortable and feel as natural in the environment as possible. Obviously, studying and taking courses and majoring and figuring out what you're going to do with the rest of your life can be very stressful, but you don't want to add to that stress by being in an environment that you don't feel a personal connection to. It definitely helps if you can visit the institution before you go, if you can even spend a few nights there with a student and go to classes with them and walk around with them. I was fortunate in the situation I was in because I had two older brothers that went to University of Virginia. They played soccer at University of Virginia, so I used to go and watch them play. I used to go to soccer camp there. So I had known and felt a lot for the school before I ever showed up as a freshman. But I think this is something that's often overlooked. And, as somebody who's been going to school kind of professionally for a large chunk of my adult life, it's definitely not the top of mind for a lot of people. And it wasn't really for me. It just so happened that I felt very comfortable at UVA, but I remember not necessarily thinking of that as I was choosing my school. So if there's anything you take away from this, definitely think about finding a place that you can be happy and a place that you can thrive and grow as a young adult into a more mature adult. So again, depending on whatever you do with your life, oftentimes your college experience is going to be the beginning of that journey. And it is very important where you go, but not necessarily because of the name on the t-shirt that you're going to buy or listing it on your resume. But as I stated before, it's really got to serve as the foundation of a place where you can become a young adult into a mature adult and be comfortable and confident, um, and just really be yourself all at the same time, because I think that's what's going to serve as the best foundation for your future career and your future academic journey. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed some of the thoughts and experiences that I shared. College is a very, very exciting time in your life, and I would do anything to be 17 again and to be thinking about going to college. So good luck wherever you do wind up. Thanks again. Have a great day.